I may appear biased, I may appear like a huge fan or something, but I'm telling you from my professional experience. Professionally, he's very sound. He is the best that I have seen in my career.
I think he's one of the finest leaders that this country has had. I haven't had the occasion to work with too many prime ministers, but I've had the occasion to work with some chief ministers and I've seen some other prime ministers. I think he's probably one of the most decisive leaders that we've had in this country.
You're talking a lot about the Prime Minister and when he was Chief Minister. What is it like working with him as a bureaucrat, right? In general, not just the specific inputs on education, but what kind of a political executive is he? What kind of a leader is he as a bureaucrat from your kind of vantage point? What's been your observation? You worked a lot with him as a district collector. I think you were district collector. That's the time he was Chief Minister. He was Secretary School Education in the state. He was Chief Minister. Of course, now in the center you've seen it. What's been the experience? What are some of the traits that kind of stand out for you?
So that's a very interesting question. So I would like to start by saying that Sir has a very unique perspective on governance. And this perspective has come out of his long-standing experience at the grassroots. We are all aware that he has lived his previous life prior to coming into politics with people. लोगों के साथ रहना, उनको समझना, उनकी दिक्कतें समझना, उनका सुख दुख बांटना, मतलब he has been there. He knows all the challenges that they go through, चाहे वो school education हो, चाहे वो agriculture है, चाहे बिजली, पानी, सड़क, मकान, everything. He has been through it.
And all of it is lived experience. It's
lived
not
experience. And lived experience is a very rich experience.
Yes.
And that is what shows in his vision, because he is a visionary. He doesn't believe that small patchwork से कोई काम हो सकता है. कुछ करना है तो transform करो, reform करो. He doesn't hesitate in reforming. Very small things which probably the public doesn't know. Small things like looking at laws. कि laws में burden क्या है आम इंसान के ऊपर. अगर किसी लॉ में लिखा है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई वॉज टोल्ड दैट देयर इज सम लॉ विच सेज कि अगर आपने अपने बाथरूम को अंदर से वाइट वॉश नहीं किया हर 6 महीने में तो आपको इतना फाइन देना पड़ेगा. ये लॉ चला आ रहा है, किस जमाने से चला आ रहा है. सो ही सेड लुक एट इट, रिमूव इट. उसके ऊपर 50 केस, 5,000, 10,000, लाखों केस सिविल कोर्ट्स वगैरह में चल रहे होंगे. तो इस तरह की एक एक चीज में घुसना, टू लुक एट इट एंड टेल अस टू रिफॉर्म एंड ट्रांसफॉर्म सो दैट आम आदमी को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो. द कॉमन मैन अंडरस्टैंड्स दैट गवर्नमेंट इज लुकिंग आफ्टर हिम और हर. I think that kind of a vision I have never seen in my entire career. I have done almost 37 years in the government. This is the first time I have come across such a visionary, such a tall person. I have not come across. I mean, I may appear biased. I may appear like a huge fan or something, but I'm telling you from my professional experience. Professionally, he's very sound. He is the best that I have seen in my career.
You've seen and worked with Prime Minister Modi. You've seen him from inside for around 4 odd years, and now for the last 4 to 5 years, you've also seen him from outside. So, basis what you've seen of him, what's your reading of him as a leader? What are his strengths that you've seen?
I think he's one of the finest leaders that this country has had. I haven't had the occasion to work with too many prime ministers, but I've had the occasion to work with some chief ministers, and I've seen some other prime ministers. I think he's probably one of the most decisive leaders that we've had in this country. And once he decides, then he carries it through. That is one. Second, contrary to the general impression, he's a very patient listener. In meetings, he hardly spoke. Otherwise, so eloquent in speeches and all. I give you an example of Ayushman Bharat and RSBY, where he heard me out for 15 minutes without interrupting. Very patient listener. And he has his feet on the ground. So he understands the pulse of the people, what would be good for people. I mean, we may have disagreements, that's a different matter, that's normal. But he has the pulse of the people. And when he speaks so well. So, country is fortunate to have a prime minister like him. So, he can, whenever he decides, he can not only take decisions, he can carry them through, he can get people to get them through.
That's again a strong endorsement. But again, if I look at, I'm just digressing a little bit, if you look at social media and all, and with the views that you express in general on different matters, you get a lot of fire from all sides, right?
It's all right. See,
perceived.
I have been, as you said in the beginning, I have been outspoken. So when I say a person has these qualities, there are issues also. And I would not be the person to say that have yet to come across a perfect individual or institution. So there are problems. So I appreciate, I criticize. If I don't like a particular thing of an individual, of an institution, I will speak my mind out.
Yeah.
Now, what others say is that they say. I mean, they may have prejudice, they may have whatever they have in mind, they have their views. I couldn't care less. I am saying it on an assessment based on certain facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do not speak without facts. So, if factually I find some shortcomings in an individual or an institution, I'll state that for whatever it is worth. I did that when I was in the service, but then I didn't go to public with that.
Yes.
But internally, I am known to have, I mean, I used to speak my mind out. And my first meeting with Prime Minister Modi was somewhat a disagreement. I remember I had taken over as Coal Secretary, and I was sitting there, a small group. Presentation was made by Power Secretary. And in the 6 slides that he presented, he mentioned that it was because of coal that Power had a problem. So the Prime Minister, my first conversation with him, he turns towards me, Anil ji, आपने देखा, आप कोल की स्थिति सुधार दीजिए, देश की आर्थिक स्थिति सुधर जाएगी. This is the first comment. So I mean, first time I'm conversing with him, and if I present a different opinion, I did that. I told him, sir, मैं आपसे सहमत हूँ. कोल की स्थिति बहुत गंभीर है, पर ये कहना उचित नहीं होगा कि कोल ही एक समस्या है, पावर की और समस्या है, इसे हमें कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली देखना पड़ेगा. He immediately nodded his head and turned toward the Power and Coal Minister, Mr. Piyush Goyal, and told him, Anil ji सही कह रहे हैं, comprehensively देखना पड़ेगा. You know, that helped me because I don't know whether rightly, erroneously or wrongly, Mr. Piyush Goyal thought that I am close to the Prime Minister, and I had an easy way as Coal Secretary. This was my first meeting. The last meeting was with regard to Ayushman Bharat. There again I had a different opinion, and he went on to agree with me. So it's not that I didn't have different opinion. I have often said that some of civil servants, have not had the courage enough to state facts to him. He's a politician, but I am a bureaucrat. I should be having the conviction and the courage to state facts before him and then work out a solution.